All right, so we are in the midst of talking about the production process. Last time we stepped through the steps in the production process, talking about the fact that the production process begins with a planned order as the triggering document. And so the sequence here is we have a request for a production, and then authorization of production, and then the raw materials are issued, the products created, and ultimately we receive the finished goods. And a lot of what we have been talking about here in the last little bit as we wrapped up our time was master data related to the production process. And we talked about the material master, and certainly in your lab work this semester you have worked extensively with the material master record and should be very familiar with its structure and it's important in a variety of processes. We talked about the bill of materials. We were towards the end of our time last time. We talked about work centers, and we left off with our discussion of the product routing and task list. And so we talked about here the fact that the routing is fundamentally the steps needed to produce the material. And as we just observed in our quiz, one of the reasons why these things are specific to a given plant is because the equipment may vary and there may be other variations in the actual manufacturing process as we move from plant to plant. So as we look at the actual structure of a routing, what we see here is you have the header section, which is universal. This is a document, so just like other documents we've seen, we have a header section that governs the entire document. And then we have a set of sequences here that have operations. So you'll notice the idea here is whatever this product is, here's the standard way we make that product. We engage in operation 1, then operation 2, and so on through all the different steps. But then we could also have an alternate sequence that we could use if perhaps some of our work centers have equipment that's not working, or we need, for whatever reason we might need, we can have alternate sequences specified in the routing as well. And so you see the hypothetical one here that just defines the standard routing for making a bicycle. You stage the material, you attach the seat to the frame, you attach the handle to the bar, so on and so forth. We can have as many or as few steps as are needed in the context of our operation. So this is a routing. Now, one of the things that you will see in the routing is for every operation, which we looked at on the last screen here, there will be a work center defined. There will be information stored for setup time, for machine time, for human resources, and then we could have other things that would be variable time elements that might be different than that. So the basic idea here is that to test a bike, it takes 2 minutes to set up for this, and then once setup is finished, a machine and a person are both going to be involved for 5 minutes in actually doing the processing of the test, and then there's a teardown. And, obviously there would be additional steps here that might come into play. Why do we have this level of definition in our product routing? What's the utility of this?